Right, welcome back everybody. Today we're working on the FZR 600 Genesis, and as some of you noticed in my previous video on this bike, some of you did point out that it did have a noisy timing chain. So we're going to be looking at the tensioner on that now. It's got an automatic adjuster on this one, but sometimes they have been known to stick, but not very often. So we're just going to take this tensioner out now. I've got Retro Restore here today.
Oh!
Not soppy.
Not soppy?
Let's get involved.
Let's what? Let's get involved? You've been watching too many Savage Rebuild UK.
That's it. So, well, let's get involved then. Let's see where we stand with this.
Let's stop the waffle and get on with it.
And get on with it and see where the ratchet's at.
Right, so this is our cam chain adjuster or tensioner, if you want to call it that. This one is self-adjusting. You can buy ones that you can take these self-adjusting ones off and then put an adjustable one on if you change at the end of its life, and you can get a little bit more adjustment, but it's not really worth doing that, to be honest with you. You might as well check this one first of all. Take this out by undoing this centre screw here, and underneath there's a long spring which is what puts the cam chain under tension. So you undo this, withdraw that spring that's in there, and then you undo these two Allen bolts there, and then that will break away the body of the adjuster. And there is a gasket under there, so you've got to be careful you don't break that. And if you do break that, obviously you're going to need to renew it. So you take that out, and we'll have a look at it, see how, if it's right out of adjustment. And if it's out of adjustment, we'll reset it by putting a little click on it and then pushing the adjuster back in, and then putting it back in again, and then see if it adjusts up fully. We may get away with it if it's not fully adjusted. If it's only halfway out, then we might get away with it. If it is fully out, the chances are it's going to need a new timing chain, and that means a lot more job that you ain't going to see in this video, because we're going to need to order that. So let's get on with it. Undo the 12mm bolt in the middle. It's got it. So this will be under spring tension, so just be careful. See that?
Yep.
So let's get that out of there. Take that tensioner head out of the way. You've got a copper washer on there for obviously sealing, so make sure you keep that. There should be a, I think, say this is double spring here. So we take that out. Yes, inside, look, see? There's another spring inside, so make sure you don't lose that. So that's the spring, and what we have to do now is to undo these two Allen bolts, take the body away, and then we can actually see how much of the tensioner is sticking out. So we're going to take that off now. And it's quite important to say, obviously, you don't want to turn the engine over while you're taking this out, because the timing chain isn't under tension. So we'll lift that off. There's our gasket still on there. That presses onto our timing chain tensioner. And one thing to note, when you take this out, you'll see that on the top there it says up, so that always goes towards the top. So make sure that when you put this in, you put this in the right way. So we spin that over, you'll see the little clicking mechanism. Now sometimes this can get stuck. Can it come out anymore? 1, 2. Oh, look at that. So yeah,
halfway, isn't it?
It looks like it was stuck quite a bit in, look. So what you have to do to reset it, you lift that back, you push that right in, and then when you push the spring in there, and that nut under tension, it should push out.
Oh,
yeah, see? If you see the wear mark there, it was actually stuck in the partially in position. So maybe we can get away by putting this in again now, and hopefully it will tension up a bit more. So looks like we might be able to get away with it. I'm not sure yet until we've actually taken it off, but that's what we found anyway. So it looks like that we could have got some more adjustment on it. So we're going to try and go with that. So I'll reset that literally by pushing it right back in, as I showed you. And when we put that in that way up, back in, we've still got the original gasket there. You tighten that down to a specified torque in there, and that should be okay. So now we've reset that, let's put these bolts back in. Don't forget you'll torque them up. We'll leave the specifications, obviously, are going to be in the manual. In with the double spring setup, and then you'll torque this down to the specified torque. Right, well that's as much as we can do with that until we start up and run it. Right, so we just take this side of the fairing off there. And all we've got to undo is these 4 bolts, Allen keys here around the outside, just to take this side casing off, and that means we can then put a socket on the end and rotate the crank. So we're just going to undo them Allen bolts now. Right, so now we've revealed the crankshaft there, so we can now turn it over by hand twice, and hopefully that tensioner mechanism might pick up a bit more. Right, so the crankshaft nut is a 14mm on this, and we're just looking, we got that rust bit there at the top there, so we're going to turn the engine over twice slowly now, just to make sure no valves
I
hit.
heard it click then.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you hear that? He said he heard it click.
That's one.
Is that one?
Two.
Two. So we've been round twice. Now what we're going to do now is we're going to take this out again now and just see whether or not it come out any further. So we're just going to whip it out now and then we'll show you when we're taking it out. Right, okay, so we've taken it back out again. Well, let's see whether or not it's come out any further. It's come out to near enough exactly the same place, look. Bearing in mind it's an automatic adjuster, there's nothing really more we can do to that, I don't think. If that's where it's showing the main adjustment is. Maybe the noise isn't from the timing chain, see, because you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You've got 7 more clicks. So 7 more clicks out of, start from there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 17. So we've had 10 clicks out and there's 17 in total. So I don't know whether to suggest taking it a little bit past there, maybe a couple of teeth past it, but you don't want to over tighten the chain, you see.
No.
If this is working correctly, then you run the risk of over tightening the chain. I suppose what we could do is to try that first of all, and if it does silence the chain a bit, it means that this may be sticking, you know?
Yeah.
Right, so I've done 3 extra clicks there, okay?
Yeah.
So if we put that in with 3 extra clicks, we'll just try that. Yeah, see there's a big gap there now, look.
Yeah.
So I don't think we should go down that road. Well, we'll put it back where it is, and all we can do is try. It may not be cam chain noise. So we'll put this back as it is, see how we go, and try and start it up. Right, we'll just put that back on again, and as I'm turning the crank around, I was going to turn it around twice to obviously make sure it sets the tensioner again. But I heard this noise, I don't know if you can hear it. As I was turning the crank around, like that, I thought, what's that cranking noise there, look? And then I've done that. Can you hear that? Now I set the Gary, and I said that casing, it sounds like it's coming out of that casing somewhere. But that seems to be the noise that we're possibly getting when the bike's running. So we're going to take that casing off now, that side. So we'll undo this and just see what's in here, because something sounds like it's a bit loose in there. Turn from the other side and see if you can get any obvious signs of clicking. Ready?
Yeah. It's just them teeth bashing together.
Yeah. So that's your electric start drive from your electric start in there. That shaft there obviously goes in there and that picks up your electric start drive, so there's nothing in there which seems to be worn. And I thought maybe that bearing had sort of got tight or was graunchy, but obviously there's no problem with that there. So that's the electric start drive, and if I turn around the other side and just clank that noise I'm hearing on the crank,
That top cog.
It's just literally the cogs from the electric start, so there's nothing worn there by the looks of it, so obviously that ain't our problem. So there we go, a little bit of a false here and there, but it was worth investigating. Back on now, making sure to engage the drive. There we go, it just goes behind there like that. It goes on now. And then relocate that on there. And then whack the bolts back in.
Right then, so we've put the tank back on now. We're just going to turn it over now to see if we've still got the same rattle noise. Most likely we have, but we won't know. You probably might get a bit of a rattle because we've still got all the tools on the metal tray here, so bear that in mind.
There's virtually no videos on this. That's why we're doing this video. There's virtually no videos on this showing a clear, concise path of action if you've got that rattle. So we've just seen what we've got with the adjuster now. Let's just see if it still rattles. If it does, we may have another issue. So we're going to play it by ear, so here we go.
Don't sound as loud. It's still there though.
Sound as loud.
But it's still there.
It doesn't sound as loud, but it's like, oh, you're right.
You're filming.
Hey, yeah.
You're filming.
It's hard to say. It doesn't sound as loud. It's hard to distinguish where the noise is actually coming from. I don't really know. I don't know what to say. We'll have to do a bit more investigation. But as far as the timing chain being worn out, it's only it's just over halfway its life. I don't think they should really make a noise when they're that sort of. Oh, hello.
Oh, hello.
When they're that sort of far in still on their adjustment sort of thing, yeah.
It's only done 26,000.
Yeah, it's not done. It's not really high mileage engine, but it's hard to pinpoint where the noise is coming from.
The engine.
Well, I know that. The engine. Jimmy, look, he's over there. Look.
He ain't been on this channel. This is exclusive.
Oh yeah, he's not been on this channel. This is Project Man channel, isn't it? Say hello, Jimmy.
Hello, Jimmy.
They'll all know you anyway because he's got all my subscribers. So all we can do at the moment is, do a bit more research on it to change the timing chain on this, which I don't really think it needs doing.
No.
It's just finding out if there's any other place where the noise can come from. It sounds like a cam chain rattle, but as I said, we did notice that was slapping about a bit on the, but that was just like the kickstart mechanism, not the kickstart, the electric start mechanism. And it didn't feel like the bearings in there were sort of worn, so it's hard to say, but we'll do a bit more investigation. Maybe it's the, I don't know, maybe it could be gearbox related. I don't know. We'll have to have a look.
We'll have to give it a good service. So yeah, we'll leave it here for this little series on the FZR 600.
The only thing we have concluded is that the cam chain doesn't appear to be worn out and that the tensioner is working correctly. We did try pushing that out a little bit further, maybe 3 notches, and you couldn't actually put the tensioner mechanism back in. So we didn't want to force it in, so we put it back to its normal setting. So it does seem to be a bit quieter. We'll have to see. We'll have to come back. There will be a part 2 to this, obviously. We'll do a bit more research and see how that goes.
And until next time, see you about.